In business for over 135 years. Think smart. Think ahead. Brown Funeral Homes. Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
We have the tools. We have the talent. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time on Talk Radio WRNR. A look at local sports with the play-by-play voice of local sports, Matt Miller.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into Miller Time on this Tuesday. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. We've got an hour to talk the latest in sports here between 5 and 6 o'clock. We'll go an hour again tomorrow, and then 2 hours on Thursday as we preview the high school football schedule for Friday night. And then, of course, on Friday, a 1-hour Miller Time segment from 5 to 6, leading into the pregame at 6 and the kickoff at 7, as we will have Hedgesville visiting Martinsburg in a key AAA showdown. Matt, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you today?
Been better.
I kind of figured so after the Redskins went out on Monday Night Football and looked like the Redskins typically do on Monday Night Football.
You mentioned that, and this was one of my grievances yesterday. Let me throw some stats out there for you.
All right.
For primetime games.
Now, this could be Sunday night?
I believe. It may,
Thursday
these
night?
may just be Monday Night Football stats, but let me throw these out there for you. All right. Yeah, okay. This is just Monday night.
Just Monday night.
Since the turn of the century in the year 2000, the year that everybody thought that New Year's Eve the world was going to explode and the banks were going to crash and all that fun stuff.
Y2K, baby.
After last night's loss, the Redskins dropped to 5-21 on Monday Night Football.
Ouch.
12 of the losses of the 26 games were by double digits. 7 of the losses, so we're now up to 19 of those 26, were by at least 20 points. The 7th coming last night. Only the Skins and the Buffalo Bills have Monday Night Football winning percentages below 200 in this century. And Washington's average margin of loss in those games is now by 10.4 points.
And it wasn't even that close last night. 43-19, the Saints get the win.
And you wonder why I wasn't excited about that game last night. Because as a Redskins fan, you said fandom is being all in on your team. No, fandom is being realistic on your team. And I didn't think it would be this bad. I knew the Redskins were going to come out and look bad last night. Because I've known nothing else. Think about it. I was born in 1996. All those stats are from the turn of the century. So I was 4 when those stats began. I've known nothing other than the 5-21 record. When it's a primetime game, I expect them to lose. I expect them to look awful. Because, yeah, you talk about, okay, well, teams lose on Monday Night Football. That happens. 19 of those games were by double digits, and 7 of those 19 were by 20 or more. So you wondered yesterday why I wasn't all gung-ho, whistling zippity-doo-dah and hail to the Redskins all day long. It's because this is all I know as a Redskins fan.
All right. Calm down just a moment, because if that is the case, then you should not be as upset today because you already knew going in what was going to happen. So it should not upset you as much as what it seems to have upset you.
It's how. It's not just that they do it. It's how they do it each time.
It's how bad it is.
Yes. Because, again, I expected them to lose yesterday because the Redskins don't come out of the bye week a lot of times looking great. And it was just one of those games where I didn't expect them to come out looking all that sharp. But I did not expect the defense to look like it was a varsity taking on a JV game.
Oh.
I did not expect Alex Smith to look like he had never played quarterback before. And I did not expect the team to have combined 39 rushing yards. 39 rushing yards in the entire football game.
Chris Thompson was the leading rusher.
17 yards.
On 8 carries. Was AP hurt?
He dislocated his shoulder.
And I know he had been a little dinged up going into the bye week, but the bye week had given him some time to heal. But he had 4 carries for 6 yards. That was it.
Yeah.
And then Thompson, 8 carries, 17 yards, as you mentioned. 39 rushing yards, and really, for an NFL game, just 283 total yards. That's not a lot of yards.
Especially in a dome.
Yeah.
Weather's not a factor. The Saints secondary didn't come in with all that much hype around them. They're not that great. The Saints don't have an awful defense, but their secondary, especially their outer secondary, meaning their corners, are not that good. The problem is the Redskins' receiving core is not that good. You can make all the excuses you want. I think Paul Richardson still is a good addition. He made one of the better catches of the season so far last night. But the Redskins' receiving core is not that good. Jamison Crowder is a decent slot receiver. At one point, he was a premier slot receiver in the entire league, but not over the last couple years. Josh Doctson is one of the biggest busts the Redskins have ever had. Because by this point, you're done using the excuse, okay, well, he needs to get healthy. Because obviously getting kicked in the heel at practice, he was out because of a heel injury. He got kicked in the heel at practice. I'm sorry. How hard could you get kicked in a heel with cleats on to make you miss practice in a game? Well, apparently last night he was walking around with no limp or a walking boot on. To me, that's heart. That's will. You really think John Riggins or Art Monk or any of the Redskin great receivers, Gary Clark, ever missed a game because somebody kicked their heel in practice? No. That is mind over matter. Get out there, suck it up. You're making millions of dollars. You were a first-round draft pick. Get out there and play football. How many broken fingers I played on? How many injuries you played through? Get over it. But the Redskins' receiving core is not that good. Jordan Reed was irrelevant last night. Didn't get a target till the third quarter. And the running game was 39 yards.
Yeah,
all that being said, I think they're going to come out and beat Carolina on Sunday. Because it's just what they do.
Well, and it's every other game right now.
Yeah, that's what the Redskins do.
I was going to point out earlier, they get a win at Arizona, then they come home and look horrible. And you go, well, what happened? And then they come back out and they look good. And then they come back out and they don't look so good. It's up and down with this team right now as to whether they can run the ball, how effective they are defensively. I mean, at times they've looked like a very good defense. Last night, they did not like a very good defense. 447 total yards of offense, and Drew Brees throws for 363 yards.
So that's Drew Brees' yardage numbers.
Yep.
Did you write down his completions?
26 of 29.
26 of 29. How do you let a quarterback only have 3 incompletions an entire game?
Well, I'm imagining, number one, you don't get a ton of pressure on him.
No, you play a weak zone defense and you only rush 4. That's how that happens. Because apparently Greg Vinusky in the bye week decided, we're only playing Drew Brees on Monday Night Football in the Dome when he has a chance to break the all-time yardage record for a quarterback.
Which he did.
Which he did, by the way, in the second quarter. He needed 201 yards. He did it in the second quarter.
On a 62-yard touchdown pass.
So apparently the defensive strategy should be, let's not blitz anybody and let's play zone, so that Drew Brees has time to step up in the pocket and move around a little bit and wait for the gaps in the zone to open up. That's a great idea, Greg Vinusky. It's a phenomenal game plan. Why didn't anybody else think of that? Oh, because it doesn't work. Because you're going to run a zone defense against Drew Brees, you got to have pressure.
You give up 43 points.
Ridiculous. And the offensive play calling was atrocious.
Gruden, again, handles that as the head coach.
I think he needs to give up play calling duties. But it's the way they lose, which is why it makes me so angry.
When they lose, it's not pretty.
No, and it's a different way they lose every time. It's frustrating. And again, I expect them, because it's what they do. They'll come out and beat Carolina and make people go, oh, maybe that was just a fluke game. Not taking anything away from the Saints. The Saints are an extremely good football team.
They're 4-1.
I don't think the Redskins would have beat them anyway, but I think it would. The spread was 6. I think they probably would have been somewhere around there if the Redskins played to their potential. But it was awful.
You mentioned the Panthers. They're coming off a big win over the Giants, thanks to a former Redskin kicker.
Yeah, they're coming off a win against the Giants.
Graham Gano, 63-yarder to give them the win. Do you watch that and go, man, I wish he was still kicking for us?
No, because Dustin Hopkins made a 53-yarder last night.
All right.
So, no, I don't.
No.
Kickers are such a hit and miss thing in the NFL, especially
A lot more miss than hit lately.
especially over the last couple years. So no, I don't really take that much stock in. I mean, Sean Sweezum left the Redskins and had a nice little 5 or 6 year career with the Steelers for a while. And
Yeah.
Kai Forbath bounced around. Nick Novak has been bouncing around the NFL for a long time. The Chargers most of the time. But when it comes to kickers, I don't really put that much stock in that kind of stuff.
All right. Do we have enough time to play a post-game comment, or do you want to get the break in first and let your anger meter subside just a little bit and then come back and get fired up again?
Let's take a break because we have a couple comments from the Redskins, and we can hear from Drew Brees we can hear the call of Drew Brees breaking that record. So yeah, I think we should let's take a break.
All right,
and then we'll come back and we can get angry again, or I can get angry.
I was going to say
you won't get angry.
You got to come to my side. I'm telling you, life is much more relaxing.
You know,
when you're not
getting
as
this angry though, I figured it'll be a lot nicer. It's like the Capitals. The Capitals destroyed my heart every year. But when they won, it was awesome. So I'm thinking maybe the Redskins will have that same effect, that I've been so angry at the Redskins for so long that maybe in 35, 40 years, whenever Dan Snyder dies and sells the team and the Redskins actually become relevant again, then maybe it'll feel better then.
As a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan from all the way back in the mid-'70s, only a few years into the franchise when Doug Williams was their quarterback, and loving the Bucs from then until now, won Super Bowl. What was that, 2002? So your heart will be broken far more than it will be filled with jubilation.
But how nice was it when they actually won that Super Bowl?
It was nice. But now we're back to a point where I can go, you know what? I don't need to have too vested of an interest. A little bit, but, you know, I'm not getting angry when they lose.
I get angry enough with both of us.
Let's take a break.
Let's talk some more Redskins coming up next on Miller Time.
Jack and I painted a picture of my life and my dreams.
4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states. Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
At Valley College, we know that going to school is about more than a diploma. It's about training to get a career you love. Get the skills you need to get ahead in a flexible format, on campus or online, that fits your lifestyle, with programs designed to meet the needs of today's employers. And you'll never feel like a number at Valley College, because we provide the level of attention you need for success. Valley College. Call now or reach us at learn@valley.com.
I'm Cole Wright for NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Saints were marching on Monday night. Drew Brees, now the all-time leader in passing yards in NFL history, surpassing both Brett Favre and Peyton Manning. The 39-year-old needing just 201 yards to surpass Manning. His second quarter touchdown pass to Michael Thomas pushed him to 228. He finished the game going 26 of 29, passing for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Saints, they win this one on Monday night, 43-19. Meanwhile, Eagles running back Jay Ajayi is headed to the IR. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport says Ajayi will miss the remainder of the season after tearing his ACL. Ajayi becoming a free agent once the offseason arrives. And Leonard Fournette will miss Sunday against Dallas. Rap sheet saying that Fournette's hamstring issues continue to keep the second year back off of the field. He's now set to miss his 4th game of the 2018 campaign. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now. 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
Since 1877, Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies have proudly supported our local community. Farmers and Mechanics has the insurance products to meet your needs, including home, auto, farm, dwelling fire, business owners, and umbrella coverage. Please contact your local independent agency for a review of your insurance needs and ask for a policy from the company that knows you best. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, just off Edwin Miller Boulevard on Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. FMIWV.com.
If you're a victim in a motor vehicle wreck or injured due to another person's fault, at Ferretti Law Office, we get to work protecting your rights and getting you the money you need and deserve. The insurance companies handling your claims want a fast and cheap settlement. Before making that mistake, call Ferretti Law Office at 264-8505 to discuss your claim for free. You did not choose to be injured, but your choice of law firms can make a difference. At Ferretti Law Office, we're here to help.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
I could go for a pizza pie about now. That would be a good dinner. Welcome back into Miller Time. A little Dean to try to calm down our own Matt Crawford. Matt Miller with you as well as we continue to talk about last night's wonderful showing of the Washington Redskins in New Orleans, falling to the Saints 43-19.
Yeah, wonderful. All right.
A game heard right here. Like you really wanted to listen at that point.
There was one thing that you wanted to hear last night, and even being a Redskins fan, I didn't care that it happened to the Redskins, just because this is such a momentous occasion.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one thing that you didn't mind hearing last night.
From the 38 in New Orleans, moving right to left in the gun, Breeze. First down and 10, shotgun snap, drops back, looks long, far side. He's got a wide open receiver. It's caught at the 35, breaking a tackle, 30 from the 20 down the sideline, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Traquan Smith. Over the shoulder catch, 62 yards, and the record. Breeze has done it.
Passing my man Brett Favre and my other man Peyton Manning.
And not only passing them, but he'll put some distance there as well, because we're only a quarter of the way or slightly more than a quarter of a way now through the season.
How much longer do you think Drew Brees has? Because there was questions going into this year whether he was going to be back or not.
The way he's playing right now, I don't see any reason why he won't be back at least next year. He'll turn 40, I believe, next year, right? He's 39 this year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Brady's what, 41, 42?
I was going to say, somewhere in that ballpark. So, maybe Breeze comes along and plays another, at least one. I would say he'll probably play another, based on the way that he's playing right now.
He seems like the kind of player that is going to retire before his body makes him, if that makes sense.
Right.
He's not going to be the guy that goes out and has an awful... When he goes, okay, this year it feels like I may not be able to give my full 100%, and that's what I'm going to... He's not going to be my man Favre, who retired 8 times. And
I was going to say, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way either as a Peyton Manning type guy, but I think Manning did the same thing. I mean, he was out there on his last possible leg.
The defense won him that Super Bowl.
Right. And it was good to see. And I understand. I mean,
think that's what Eli's going through right now, too.
You love the game and you want to play the game and you feel like you can perform, but it's just not quite there.
Yeah.
And
that's hard, because at some point, everybody's got to give up sports.
I was going to say,
and it's a very tough thing to realize.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to me, you're thinking, okay, you got to give it up at 40 after you've played to the highest level you can possibly get. To me, that would seem like it would get easier the older you got, but apparently it's not always that easy.
No. Drew Brees, have you ever watched any of those Dude Perfect videos?
Yes.
They're fun, right?
Yes.
You ever seen the one with Drew Brees?
Yes.
You talk about accuracy with a football. Wow.
And you don't, I don't know if you saw this highlight or anything, but you talk about a guy that when people talk about now how the NFL, major league or athletes and celebrities are kids' role models, especially with the way that social media is now and all the access you have to them. And a lot of them you go, not sure I'd want my kids looking up to that athlete. They brought Drew Brees' family down to the field. Yeah. And did you hear the conversation he had with his sons?
I did not. I got a chance to at least catch a video of him going over to the stands and the hugs and the things that were going on.
The first thing he did was he's got 3 sons. I don't think any of them are older than probably 5 or 6. But he crouched down, hugged all 3 of them, and not, can you believe we just did that? We're going to go out and not height. He looked at them all 3 in the eye and goes, guys, what have I always told you? You can do anything you want if you work hard enough. Mm-hmm. And then hugged his wife. His wife looked at him and goes, all right, go win the game. And then he goes, all right, let's go win the game. Went and hugged Sean Payton and said, all right, coach, let's go win the game. So you just look at that and go, all right, you can't not like that guy. Mm-hmm. He's not only a phenomenal football player, but he's got it figured out. Mm-hmm. He knows how to be a pro's pro and how to be a good dad, how to be a good person off the field. So well, you never want a record to be broken against your team. That was just one of those things last night where you go, okay, you can't be mad.
And it's a scheduling thing more than anything. You just happen to be the team.
Which is why this game was on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Because when people looked down and sat and looked at the schedule,
kind of projected
they put the numbers out and went, okay, this is the first chance he could have to do this. So that's why that was a Monday Night Football game.
Okay. It wasn't based on the fact that it was a pretty good game last year down there on a Sunday afternoon?
No. It was based on the numbers. Let's go back to the losing side now that we've gotten the nice stuff out of the way.
I forgot we were talking there about the Saints, and they used to be in the same predicament, right?
Yep.
What did you tell me yesterday when they used to be the Aints and people wore the bags over their heads? Yeah, the unknown fans. So.
All right, let's hear from Jay Gruden. We'll get one from Jay Gruden, one from Alex Smith.
Okay.
So here's Jay Gruden, just overall on the loss last night.
We got behind early, and we have not been a very good team when we get behind for whatever reason. We weren't able to make any plays to get ourselves back in the game. We had 3 penalties on defense on 3rd down and kept drives alive, and we give Drew Brees extra snaps. He's going to make you pay. Offensively, we didn't protect very well. We didn't hit open receivers. Didn't call very good plays. So, it was just a total team debauchery, and I'm the one in charge of it and take responsibility for it.
All right, you like the fact that at least he's taking responsibility,
What's he
right?
going to say, though? I mean, what else can you say there? My thing is, the play calling was awful. Dude, you had 2 weeks to prepare for this, and you're saying the entire game your play calling was off, which goes back to my point. Jay Gruden doesn't know how to change a game plan in the game. To me, that sums it up and gives truth to my point right there when he comes out and says, the play calling was awful all game. Okay, why didn't you change anything then?
Right.
Because he doesn't know how to change. I guarantee they spent 2 weeks working on the same game. And I get, you spend that much time on a game plan. You want it to work. But at some point, you got to change it up a little bit. So.
Well, what does David Walker always tell us on the high school level, and most of the other coaches when we talk to them as well? Well, big keys in this game and that sort of thing. And it's what? Take what the defense gives you.
Yeah.
And that means you're going to sometimes have to adjust. You may
Oddly enough, the defense isn't going to take what the offense gives you. It doesn't work like that in football.
I think we'll be able to run against this team, but we're not running, then, okay, we've got to figure out how to get our passing game going. If that's short passes, well, wait a minute, they're bumping us and playing tight, then we got to do some double moves and go deep. We've got to stretch that defense. We got to make them uncomfortable. We got to get them out of that rhythm that they are in. You can't just beat your head against a wall and think that you're going to break through it.
All right, real quick before we got to get a break at the bottom of the hour, let's hear from the losing quarterback of the Washington Redskins, Alex Smith.
Don't know if we ever really got in a rhythm tonight. There were times when we get things going, and then it seemed like something would happen, self-inflicted. Some uncharacteristic mistakes for us. Just out of sync at times, for sure, all night. I felt like that really kind of led to this. Certainly the game was one-sided for a big chunk of the game, and even with that, though, I felt like we had some opportunities and didn't get it done.
They only had an opportunity on the first couple drives. After that, it was over.
Smith, 23 of 39, 275 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick.
All right, we'll move on from NFL football and talk some other things. Coming up next after this break, more Miller time after this.
CBS News Update. The National Hurricane Center just announced Michael is now a Category 3 hurricane with winds up to 120 miles an hour. Forecasters say it will make landfall in the Florida Panhandle tomorrow. President Trump's already approved a disaster declaration for the state, and Governor Rick Scott warns people to be ready for heavy rain and a storm surge.
We expect to see 12 inches of rain in some areas of the Panhandle. So think about that. A foot of rain is expected in some parts of the Panhandle, and that's going to come quick.
This vacationer in Panama City decided not to evacuate.
The pumps are covered with bags. Walmart's empty with water, so it's easier to stay.
Nick Gillum and his family are heeding calls to leave.
We're on vacation for the kids' fall break, and, we got to spend a couple days here, but hoping to wait it out, but had to head home.
State officials say so far 900 people have arrived at 25 shelters. CBS News Update, I'm Pam Coulter.
Now, with your local forecast, weatherman Bob Kukin.
No rain expected in our nighttime forecast, just a fair amount of cloud cover and temperatures on the very mild side. Early morning low back to 66. Cloudy and very mild again for tomorrow with a high of 80, and a few showers begin to pop up later in the day. They're more likely tomorrow night and Thursday, and some chillier weather coming in here for Friday. By Friday afternoon, our high is only 62. I'm Bob Kukin, Talk Radio WRNR.
Good morning, Berkeley County. This is Dr. William Zaki McGill, and I'm running for County Council. I'm a retired medical doctor with 25 years of experience treating people suffering with addictions. As many as 2 residents every week are dying from overdoses. That's 2 people with parents, spouses, children, and friends devastated by their loss. We need to work together to end this epidemic. If you'd like a representative who knows the difference between comprehensive treatment and Band-Aid approaches, put me on the County Council. If you think an experienced medical perspective on the County Council would be helpful, then please vote for me. I'll be your public servant, providing the important questions that you want asked before decisions are made. And if you'd like less divisiveness between the County Council and City Council, then help me build those bridges. Please vote for William Zaki McGill, County Council.
Paid for by friends and family of Dr. McGill for County Council.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
8:07 Eastern. That is when the Red Sox and the Yankees are slated to have their first pitch. Boston up 2-1 in the series, trying to close things out. They'll turn to Rick Porcello. CC Sabathia going to try to keep the Bronx Bombers alive. For the Yankees, they get Aaron Hicks back in the lineup. Andrew McCutchen goes to the bench, and Miguel Andujar goes to the bench. Neil Walker starts. Steve Pearce in the lineup for Boston. No Brock Holt, at least not in the starting lineup. Jaguars, they have inked former Broncos and Chiefs running back Jamal Charles to a 1-year deal. Elsewhere in the NFL, the Giants waived offensive tackle Eric Flowers, former first-round selection, and the Chargers sadly announced that owner Alex Spanos has passed away at the age of 95. I'm Keith Irizarry, and this is NBC Sports Radio.
It's the 10 Days to Deal event at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Martinsburg. That means great savings like the all-new 2019 Ram truck as low as $32,900. How about a 2019 Jeep Cherokee at 0% APR plus $1,500 cash back? Get a 2018 Pacifica for only $24,987. How about a 2018 Jeep Compass for a low $229 a month, or a 2018 Dodge Charger as low as $299 per month? Get a 2018 Dodge Grand Caravan at only $299 per month. It's all at the 10 Days to Deal event at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Kelly Island Road, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Stock numbers 19049, 19001, and 19319. All payments based on approved credit, taxes, tags, and processing fees extra. See dealer for details. And we welcome you back into Miller Time. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller on this Tuesday evening. With you until 6 o'clock. Then it's off to NBC Sports Radio through the rest of the evening. And then tomorrow we're back again between 5 and 6 on Thursday, we're on from 5 to 7. 2 full hours as we preview Friday night high school football. By the way, the Washington Capitals are back in action tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Get it going.
Yeah, after almost a full week off.
Rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals.
See how this one plays out.
The Golden Knights come to town. See if Bryce Harper will be there in all his Knights apparel.
I don't think he's in D.C. right now, and I don't think he'll come back for this game.
Where do you think he is?
Probably home. Probably in Vegas.
Maybe he'll fly back out and all his Vegas stuff.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think he's probably relaxing a little bit and probably talking with
Does he live in Vegas in the offseason?
I don't know. I'm just figuring since that's where he's from, I figured perhaps, he was still hanging out in that neck of the woods. But otherwise, I would have no idea.
You're not up to date on
what
exactly
I don't have a cell number
Bryce
or anything.
Harper's off-season plans are?
No, we haven't texted or talked or anything.
Should get on that.
So I'll work on that and see if I can figure it out for you.
All right, bottom of the hour. You know what that means, Matt?
I do. Hit the music. A little slow on the music there.
Sorry. It's time to take a look at what's going on tomorrow in sports history. Tomorrow, Matt Miller will not be here because he's going to... I'm just kidding. He'll be here.
I'll be here. Lord willing.
Yeah. 1892. Had some dyslexic moment there. 1892. The entire Hong Kong national cricket team dies in a shipwreck off Taiwan.
Oh, how sad.
It's unfortunate.
We have heard of, some harrowing incidents with aircraft through the years where we've had teams and a hockey team. Was that a bus accident out of Canada, the junior team up there just about a year ago? But to think all the way back then, it was a shipwreck. Sad.
1899, Isaac R. Johnson patents the bicycle frame.
Now, is that the big, tall bicycle frame with the one wheel in the front, or more of what we might ride today?
I'm thinking it's more of what we might ride today. I think the big, there's a certain name for those.
Yeah, couldn't tell.
There is there's a different name for those, right, with the huge front wheels?
I do, but yeah, I'm bad at those kind of things. I'm not a bicyclist myself.
1904, you'll appreciate this one. Boston pitchers achieve 148 complete games, an AL record. In the AL that year, there was 1,098 complete games, and the NL, 1,089 complete games.
There hadn't been 1,000 complete games in baseball.
Since 2000.
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah. So I knew you'd appreciate that one.
Wonder how many of those guys had Tommy John surgery.
Probably not a whole lot. They probably just couldn't use their arm after their career. 1916, in Game 3 of the World Series, Charlie Ebbets of Ebbets Field in Brooklyn becomes the first owner to raise the price of World Series grandstand tickets. Hold on to your wallets, folks. From $3 to $5.
Oh, man.
Cost you a nice, crisp $5 bill to get into a World Series game and sit in the grandstands in 1916.
Think about that. You're paying $5 now to get into the high school game.
Yeah.
And to get into the World Series game, try 500 or more. Wow.
1920, the Phoenix Cardinals, then in Chicago, so the Chicago Cardinals at that point, play the first NFL game, a 0-0 tie.
Wow, it was exciting back then, too. They couldn't even kick a field goal. At least this past weekend, the Browns kicked more field goals than the Ravens.
Yeah. 1920, a couple from the Cleveland Indians. In the same game, Indian Bill, all right, help me out with this one. WAMBS, Whams, right? Whams.
Okay.
Whams.
Keep going.
GANNS. Whams Gons.
Sure.
Makes first unassisted triple play in World Series history. Also in that game, Indians' Elmer Smith, that one's a little bit easier, hits baseball's first World Series grand slam.
Nice.
1924, and then I promise we'll get a little bit more modern. The Washington Senators win their first World Series. They beat the Giants in 7. Moving on down the list. Well, again, I'm trying to get a little bit more modern here. We'll do one more for you. 1994, New York Giant great Lawrence Taylor has his number retired. The number 56 is retired from the New York Giants. That is LT's number.
Is that hard for you to say as a Redskins?
It hurts my leg a little bit to say that. No, the dude was great. He just happened.
That video.
I don't know why you see 7 guys in the box and decide, hey, let's run a flea flicker.
What was you, man? I remember watching that game live. I did, actually. Come on.
I'm sure you did. Now, I'm sure you did that.
And to see it happen immediately, you didn't realize what happened, as you're watching on TV.
It's never good when the defender is waving the medical staff over.
When the defender jumps up and he is just frantically waving them over, and then they go back and let's look at the replay, and you go, a leg's not supposed to go that direction. It became, I couldn't watch it. After, when you saw it the first time, it was like, okay, and they kept showing, here's what was happening, and you're going.
And it's a good thing back then they didn't have all the angles they have now. It would be really gruesome.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant thing to watch, and clearly not pleasant for Joe Theismann.
I just remember the movie The Blind Side.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the first scene of that movie is explaining why the left tackle is so important. I remember the first time watching that movie with my dad. He goes, "Really? This is how it starts?" So, yeah, not a fun injury for the Redskins to relive.
Not at all.
But they did end up winning Super Bowl in the next couple of years with a different quarterback. So everything happens for a reason.
Let's jump into our pick'ems before we move on to college football, because this is Tuesday, and we look back at how things went over the weekend, as Matt and I, throughout the football season, have been picking 6 college games and 6 NFL games each Wednesday. So tomorrow we'll have our pick'em session at some point. But we picked Kansas WVU. We both got that right, picking the Mountaineers. We picked Shepherd over West Liberty, got that right. I went for the upset. I went with Maryland, even though you, as a terrapin yourself, were like, no, don't do it, go with Michigan.
I told you.
You won. All right. I went with Marshall. You went with Middle Tennessee. You won. We both went with Oklahoma. I let you talk me out of it. Deep in my heart, I was thinking, man, could Texas pull this upset? But I thought...
Deep in the heart of Texas, you wanted to go with Texas?
I thought I'd already gone with a couple of potential upsets. Definitely Maryland, and possibly Marshall would have been an upset. So I thought I can't go for 3. And so we both took Oklahoma. Darn it. So we both lost. And then Virginia Tech, we both took that upset and went, well, that didn't work either. So I went 2 for 4 in the college football picks. You went 4 and 2. So you gained a couple of games on me there. We won't spend a lot of time on the NFL. Needless to say, we both went 3 and 3. I got the Saints, you didn't. We both missed on the Ravens. And you got the Steelers, I didn't. We both took the Chargers, which was good. I took the Chiefs, and you took the Jags, so I win there. But you took the Vikings while I took the Eagles. So ultimately, we even things up. So in the end,
now, where are we looking at now?
You went 7 and 5. I went 5 and 7. So you picked up 2 more games, which you did have a 6-game lead. Now it's up to 8, as you have 43 wins and 22 losses. I am 35 and 30.
I like my ribeye cooked as rare as possible with a side of mashed potatoes and green beans.
That sounds very good. Bread, got to have some kind of bread.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah, have a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so so right now I'm hovering around Nationals territory, trying to be a 500 team, while you're playing the Atlanta Braves and pulling away just a little bit. But there's still plenty of time. We're only halfway through the season, basically. So plenty of time for me to make my move. See, I'm letting you wear yourself out, and then I'm going to gain some momentum, and then...
Wear myself out?
And then, yep.
In picks?
I'll kick the late field goal and get the victory.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
It's my own personal pep talk. That's what it is.
All right, where are we going now?
Some college football?
Let's talk some college. You want to talk some Heisman? I see you looking at a small piece of paper that I believe has some Heisman figures on it.
Well, you brought this up to me really late this afternoon, to be honest. This has been within the last hour. You get these ESPN alerts on your phone because you are so into sports.
I do. I like to be on top of things.
I don't get those. So I just have to go to my ESPN app on my phone occasionally and see what the headlines might say.
I can set you up to get those alerts.
To be honest, I'm not interested.
I know. I wanted to get your reaction on that. I figured you wouldn't be.
So anyway, you commented about, what's that Alabama quarterback's name? And you began to try to pronounce it.
I get Tua at the beginning.
Tua.
And his last name just makes my tongue turn into a pretzel.
Well, you mentioned Tua Tagovailoa is...
Yeah, I keep wanting to put extra Tagovailoa. I can't.
Or get the V and the G in the wrong place. I do that sometimes too. But you mentioned about how he was the early front runner for the Heisman. And I went, where'd you get that? Well, on ESPN. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go look this up and see, where does Will Grier fit in? And so you begin to read, and first of all, I realized it's 10 ESPN experts. What?
You're saying that the ESPN experts may not be any smarter than you and I are?
Well, I'm just saying, what's the difference of us walking through the office here? Okay, you got you got me, you got Rob, you got Dave, you got Mike Height, you got Mike Hornby. We could get Sherry in there. She was great at the football pick'ems. I mean, we've got 7 right there. Let's get 3 more. We'll check with Kevin and others in the magazine side of things. Add Caleb, and we could come up with our own 10 quote-unquote talk radio WRNR experts are saying they think this guy's going to win the Heisman. Seriously? To me, again, I'm going, it's an ESPN way of trying to have some kind of relevance at this point of the football season rather than just covering what's going on in football. And so the 10 ESPN experts, all 10, voted Tagovailoa as the guy right now. And I went, okay, what's his numbers? 76 of 101, that's 75% completion percentage, 1,495 yards, 18 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 258 quarterback rating. All right, good numbers for a 6-0 Alabama team. So who's number 2? Ohio State's Dwayne Haskins. He's completed 142 of 198 passes, 72%, 1,919 yards, 25 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. So he's got, in the same number of games, more yardage, more pass attempts, and I mean a bunch more. You're talking like 97 more pass attempts. So therefore, doubling almost the completions for the 1,900 yards and more touchdowns. He does have 4 picks, but okay. Who's number 3? Oklahoma's Kyle Murray. Well, Murray's 96 of 135, 71% completion percentage in 6 games. By the way, they lost their last one, so Oklahoma's now 5-1. He's thrown for 764 yards, 21 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So where does Will Grier fit?
I'm guessing that next spot.
The next spot, number 4. Grier's completed 126 passes in 177 attempts, 71% completion percentage. Oh, by the way, remember, only in 5 games. He doesn't have that extra game because the NC State game got wiped out by Hurricane Florence. But Grier's thrown for 1,819 yards, 21 touchdowns, and I guess where he's being hit right now, perhaps, is 6 INTs. That's well ahead of anybody else. Haskins does have 4, the Ohio State quarterback. But when you looked at the voting, I didn't write down all of the votes and how it panned out for Haskins or Murray. But we told you already, the 10 experts all went Tagovailoa as our number 1. Will Grier got 3 second-place votes, 1 third-place vote, 2 fourth-place votes, and even 1 fifth-place vote, which ultimately gave him 20 points while the guys in front had more points.
Here's my thing with this whole situation. I get getting a Heisman Trophy is extremely cool. You're the best college football player in the country, as voted on by people who apparently can judge that kind of stuff. To me, I think coaches should vote on this. I like the fact they have 58 former Heisman members that vote on that. I think that's cool, but I'm not sure. While sports writers are paying a lot of attention to stats, I think coaches are a better judge of, all right, how much does he mean to his team? How good is this guy really, looking at tape and looking at X's and O's and footwork and stuff like that for certain things. I'm not sure how 800-plus sports writers can really tell all the nitty-gritty stuff of who really makes the best player in college football, rather than coaches who could actually sit down and look at the minute details. But no matter if he wins the Heisman or not, out of that list you just said, Will Grier is the most NFL-ready quarterback of that list. Playing style-wise, playing body type, I think of that four-person list you just said, he is the most NFL-ready quarterback.
He's also the oldest.
Yeah.
He's got the most college experience.
So while winning the Heisman would be cool, I think that in the grand scheme of life, being the first quarterback taken in the 2019 NFL draft, maybe a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
But again, I guess it depends on who you're asking.
The good news is it's not decided by 10 ESPN experts.
Decided by like 900 other people.
Can ESPN just stop being experts? I mean, I understand. Look, they've got some good people there. I don't want to rag on them all the time, but it's just like
Scott Van Pelt is awesome.
That it's always about the ESPN experts. Just report on the sports.
Self-proclaimed experts.
Yeah, there it is. That's it. Thankfully, though, as you mentioned, the Heisman Watch.
We're WRNR experts.
Yeah, well, and that means a whole lot. That won't even get you a cup of coffee. So, especially if you're going to Starbucks or one of those places. Anyway, as you were mentioning, the good news is it's not 10 of these ESPN experts. In the end, this was based on what I read from last year. 870 media members divided into 6 regions, 58 former Heisman winners, and there's also a vote that is collected by the fans. It's tabulated by the Nissan Heisman House. So ultimately, in all, 929 potential ballots are cast, and on those ballots, 3 players are selected, first, second, third, and then they tally up the points. And so plenty of time for Mountaineer fans to see Will Grier maybe get the Heisman.
All right. We got to get in a break.
Okay, let's
come back. We'll look at some high school football and some other rankings at the moment.
All right.
It's coming up next on Miller Time.
Joe Ferretti of Ferretti Law Office. The most common question I hear from people injured in an automobile wreck or because someone else was at fault is, can their insurance company do that? If you call Ferretti Law Office at 264-8505, I will answer that question and other questions you have for free. Get educated and get ready to fight back. Call 264-8505 to protect your rights and get the compensation you deserve. Put my 31 years of personal injury and trial experience to work for you. At Ferretti Law Office, we're here to help.
A quarterback question mark for West Virginia's defense as it prepares for Iowa State. Hi, everybody. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
When you order your groceries online at Kroger.com or with the Kroger app, you can do your shopping anytime, anywhere, like the gym, the office, or your favorite comfy couch. Plus, when you visit Kroger.com, you can find hundreds of money-saving digital coupons. And whether you place your order on your phone, tablet, or computer, it's still your neighborhood Kroger. So you'll find all the fresh choices, low prices, and great deals you love. And once you've selected your coupons and finished your shopping, you choose a pickup time that fits your schedule. And relax while your order is hand-picked, just the way you like it. Then all you have to do is hop in the car and drive to the store's pickup location. And a friendly Kroger associate will load your specially picked order for you. You don't even have to get out of your vehicle. It's so convenient. Save time. Shop online today at Kroger.com.
There's a little additional stress on the WVU football coaching staff on the defensive side this week. That's because they're not exactly sure which quarterback will start for Iowa State. Kyle Kempt may come back from injury, and then true freshman Brock Purdy certainly looked impressive last Saturday in leading his Cyclones to a victory at Oklahoma State. What did he do? Well, he threw for over 300 yards. He ran the ball effectively, including a touchdown run, responsible for 4 touchdowns. So which way do they go? Head coach Dana Holgerson says he's not sure, but he was very impressed with the freshman, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he came in and did a good job. Was kind of unexpected on our part. We still got to worry about Kyle Kempt coming back. They've been saying that he's going to be coming back for this game. Then you got the new freshman coming back that he went out there and ran around and did a good job. Thought he made a whole lot of plays. And Noland is an experienced guy as well. So he went in there, he completed 18 of 23 passes and ran for almost 100 yards. So he played really well against Oklahoma State. And once again, this is the second week in a row, we'll prepare for three different quarterbacks.
The inside word from the folks in Ames say that Brock Purdy is just not a flash in the pan. He's the real deal. Highly recruited kid. Player of the year in the state of Arizona last year, who turned down an offer from Alabama to go to Iowa State. It would only seem as though, as hot as he was last Saturday, that he'll be on the field come Saturday against WVU. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from IMG.
Looking for a hot tub this winter? Looking for great deals on grills this football season? Sunfire Energy Solutions, located at 301 East Stevens Street in Martinsburg, is the place to be this Thursday through Saturday with specials, food, and fun. Sunfire Energy Solutions is offering up to $1,500 off of any hot tub, 10% off of any unit or stove, and great deals on all grills. Talk Radio WRNR will be broadcasting live, so come out this weekend to Sunfire Energy Solutions, located at 301 East Stevens Street in Martinsburg.
EPTA invites you to take advantage of their rider programs, the $5 all-day pass, the monthly pass, and the Get a Job, Get a Ride program. Visit EPTAWV.com for further details and come ride with us. This message brought to you by EPTA, the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority. For schedules and rider information, visit EPTAWV.com. EPTA serves Berkeley and Jefferson counties.
Take the bus, come ride with us.
Hi, this is Tom Bibby, and I'm the Republican candidate for the West Virginia House of Delegates for District 62. I'm running because I want to cut taxes, limit government spending, and reduce overregulation to promote economic growth and prosperity for West Virginia.
You know what you're getting with Tom Bibby. Someone who will listen and work hard to represent you and fight for increased accountability and transparency in government. Not a career politician, Tom is a retired military officer and pilot with over 45 years in the public and private sectors. You can find out more about Tom's campaign at tombibbywv.com.
If you elect me as your delegate for District 62, my focus will be on creating jobs and the benefits that come from a vibrant economy, and I'll work hard to improve the quality of life for you and all West Virginians.
You can count on Tom Bibby to represent conservative values. He's pro-life, pro-family, pro-Second Amendment, pro-business, pro-taxpayer, and above all, he's pro-West Virginia.
To find out more about my campaign, please visit my website at tombibbywv.com. That's tombibbywv.com. Thank you for listening. I would appreciate your vote this November.
This ad is paid for by the candidate, Tom Bibby, with the help of many supporters.
All right, down to the final, about a minute and a half of the program.
Just about.
Where'd it go?
Time flies when you're mad at the Redskins.
Yeah, well, when you are, I was here for therapy today.
I appreciate it. Next time, get a couch.
Anytime. Hey, we got one more poll to speak of. We were talking about Heisman hopefuls going into the break, coming out of the break. The WVSS-AC computer ratings are out. What do we got?
We got Martinsburg up one spot there at number 2, right behind Spring Valley, who is your leader. Huntington and Musselman tied for 3rd. Musselman technically up one spot, tied for the number 3 spot, but still at number 4 right now when it comes to 1, 2, 3, 4,
right,
based on the list. Hedgesville, after falling to the Affman, down 3 spots there at number 9. The Spring Mills Cardinals up 2 spots. They've cracked the top 20 there at 18. And, well, I think anybody that pays attention can figure out where Jefferson and Washington are.
They're in that batch at the bottom still. What about 6 teams that are looking for their first win in Class AAA? 5
You
teams.
have Brooke, Hampshire, Jefferson, Princeton, and Washington.
All right. Well, and Washington and Jefferson will play each other at the end of the season. This coming Friday night, a big one between Martinsburg and Hedgesville, and that matchup at Coburn Field. It kicks off at 7, our pregame at 6, Miller time at 5. Musselman has a big one as they will be at Wheeling Park. Wheeling Park's right around, 5 or 6 in that ranking.
And 2 bye weeks this week as Spring Mills and Washington are both on byes.
Yeah, very unusual to have 2 teams in the Panhandle not playing. Well, that's going to do it for Miller Time. This is Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg at 6 o'clock.
Here's your local news from Talk Radio WRNR. Gas prices are steady in West Virginia, and as usual, Martinsburg is the most expensive on the AAA East Central's gas price report, up 1 cent from last week to $2.99 per gallon. The cheapest metro area is Wheeling at $2.85. On average, gas prices are at $2.93 for the state. AAA also reported average gas prices are $2.68 in Maryland, $2.85 in Virginia, $3.08 in Pennsylvania, and $2.91 nationwide.